My name is Alexis Fernandez, and this is my visualization project for two problems that the women's empowerment movement is fighting against. Women's empowerment can be defined in multiple ways, but the broad definition is a process by which women gain power and control over their own lives and acquire the ability to make strategic choices and having access to their own rights. One problem is rape culture. Rape culture is a concept that normalizes rape due to societal views on gender. Here are some examples of rape culture: blaming the victim, sexually explicit jokes, tolerance of sexual harassment, defining manhood as dominant and sexually aggressive, and more. And here is how it pertains to women's empowerment movement. It is one of the most significant concepts that this movement is fighting for, and is the sexualization and objectification of women. They believe that this normalization will encourage gender violence and more rape myths. Right here, it shows the National Sexual Assault Hotline statistics for 9 out of every 10 victims of rape are female. In the US, at least 1 out of 5 women experience rape or attempted in their lifetime, not only including sexual harassment verbally and or physically. Most rape victims don't acknowledge or try to forget what had happened due to the fear of it being out in the public and being scrutinized and prodded by others. After you bring it to light, many victims get bombarded with questions like, "What were you wearing?" or "How much did you have to drink that night?" that dehumanizes and turns the blame on her. FrontierSyn.org says that sexual assaults are one of the most underreported crimes. During our class, we highlighted issues of rape, sexual assault, and how men are perceived to be manly and therefore more aggressive and violent. Another problem is the pay gap for women in business. The gender pay gap is very broad and can be brought down to different categories such as race, age, sexuality, ethnicity, disabilities, and many more. Pay discrimination is illegal in the United States, but that does not mean that it is not non-existent. Women that can work full-time in the US are paid 82 cents to every dollar that is made by men, even though women are now outpacing men in higher education. By closing this gap, there are many positives, not just being closer to equality. For example, from the Institute for Women's Policy Research, they state that, according to a recent regression analysis of federal data by the IWPR, equal pay would cut poverty among working women and their families by more than half and add $513 billion to the national economy. Here are some statistics from the Global Gender Gap Report in 2015, the U.S. Census Bureau, and Thompsnet.com, which is a product sourcing and supplier discovery platform. In sociology, from the Chapter 8 outline, it states when women do obtain positions that are typically dominated by men, they face enormous pressure in the form of the so-called glass ceiling. There is a sense that all women will be judged based on their performance, and they are often caught in a catch-22 regarding their behavior. If they act just like a man, they are seen as unfeminine and somehow unattractive. If they exhibit more female qualities, they are seen as not tough enough. Men working in a female-dominant field don't seem to face the same scrutiny and challenges. In fact, studies show that such men advance more quickly via the so-called glass escalator than their female counterparts. Opting out refers to a perceived trend among mostly middle-class women of leaving the workforce to be full-time wives and mothers, in large parts because of the frustrations with many obstacles they face on the job in the sense that they can find fulfillment in the home. Here are ways to help. You can call the National Sexual Assault telephone hotline to be connected with a trained staff member from a sexual assault service provider in your area. You can also research more at raperecoverycenter.org and more ways at www.goodtherapy.org that can help with sexual assault awareness and prevention. You can also donate to rape organizations or consider the Equal Pay Today, the National Women's Law Center, or the AAWW to help bridge the gap for equal pay. And also let your lawmakers know your support of these causes. Thank you.